Welcome to the Friday at 4 podcast series with your host Charles Luttrell and co-host Steve Kent.
Steve, welcome back to the Friday at 4 podcast series.
Hey Chuck,
How
it's
are you?
great to be back with you.
Yeah,
Another great episode.
yeah, definitely going to be a good one. So you mentioned there's something on the screen there.
Oh yeah, that's funny looking thing in the corner. Yeah.
That one little thing in the corner. Welcome to the 50th episode of Friday at 4. We made it.
I'm super psyched.
Yeah, yeah,
For a number of reasons.
yeah,
One is the relationship that we have built over the last 50 weeks. Actually more than that, because we knew each other before we started this. Um,
yeah,
One is to realize all the value that the two of us have shared with the audience, knowing that we help people out there. What we don't know right now is how many and to what extent, but we know people have benefited by this information, and it's a great feeling to know that we're helping.
yeah, yeah. And like we talked about last week, and I want to reiterate it again, is that all this stemmed from, hey, Chuck, I noticed my name's Steve Kent. I'd like to interview on your podcast. Okay, send me his information. Hey, Steve, you want to interview on my podcast? Sure. And here we are, 50 weeks later, beyond that podcast interview. And what I love about this is how we gel. Our businesses seem to kind of really mend together. So when we're talking about things, it seems like it fits, you know?
It does.
Yeah.
We're both on the service end, um, but what we talk about really does impact both of our businesses. And like you said, that's what makes it so great. It's not two completely separate viewpoints. They really do come together, and I think that adds more value.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, as I listen to a lot of other podcasts, sometimes the guests and the host kind of clash. What they talk about is not really
Mm,
gelling, and it's just a conversation.
right.
But when we talk, it's like we just blend, man. I really love it. I really do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, hitting episode 50 of the Friday at 4 podcast series isn't just a nice round number, right? It's a business lesson wrapped in a celebration. I love it. You know,
Hmm.
every milestone, whether it's your 50th podcast or 1000th customer or your 10-year anniversary, it's a chance to grab attention and create momentum. And I think that's what I love about this. The human brain loves milestones. Obviously, I know mine does. I'm sure yours does too. You know, they signal progress, success, credibility. In business, the smart move isn't just to hit them, but to leverage them. And I think that's what we do great. And that means, talking about it publicly, thanking your supporters, and maybe even offering something special to mark the moment, right? So, if you're a restaurateur, think about this. Like maybe you can run a 50-cent appetizer day or something. If you're in the service business like us, maybe we can offer a bonus for the 50th client or something like that, right? Well, I wish I had 50 clients, but I will get there.
You will.
Yeah. But, I think for us, episode 50 says we've shown up consistently. We've built trust. We're not going anywhere. The lesson is never let the milestones pass quietly, right? They're free marketing fuel, man. They're credibility builders, and they give your audience a reason to celebrate with us. I think that's pretty cool. Because the truth is, man, when you celebrate your progress out loud, you invite others to be part of your journey. And that's how you turn a milestone into a momentum, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
can't say anything better than that, right?
People, rightly so, in my mind, want to be part of something good.
Yeah.
And when you hit, like we did, 50 episodes, that's a big deal. That shows staying power, that shows added value, and people will jump on. Hey, and they will spread this because it is a big deal.
Yeah. I'm hoping because, every last, 4 or 5 episodes, maybe longer, I've
Mm,
been doing the TikTok live and we get some viewing, people look. Last week you had a couple of people who actually watched almost through the entire
Hmm.
25, 30 minutes that we were recording. And I thank those folks who stuck around to do that. I really appreciate that. And as I watch here with people just coming in and bouncing in and out and joining and really wanting to, experience what we're about, and
Mhm.
I encourage anybody who's watching or anybody who watches this episode to really check out all of our episodes and
Mhm.
listen and see what we have to offer. And most of the titles explain what we're doing. I kind of do that now, and the description is there that talks. It says what we talk about in each episode. But yeah, I agree with you. I think we've really put some really good nuggets out there for people who
We have.
want to know about insurance, financials, and about customer service on my end, and credible reviews for a business.
One of the things that we've been doing the last bunch of episodes, we've put our phone numbers on the screen. So if you have questions afterwards, if you have topics you'd like us to address, and it's going to sound crazy, but as long as it's legal, Chuck and I will address pretty much everything. So if you have something you want us to talk about, if you have
Yeah.
questions, please let us know. The call to either of us is confidential, so your name will never be used. But we want to be able to answer your questions either in person, one on one on a phone, or in this session. We'd love to give and continue to add feedback, and your valuable suggestions are appreciated.
Yeah, and the thing I want to add to that is I tell people all the time throughout my day, come and join us on the podcast. It's
Hmm.
4 o'clock every Friday. We try not to skip a beat. Sometimes things happen. It's happened,
Okay.
but we're here. We show up every day for
Mm.
this every Friday. We're here.
Right.
Whether it's just me or it's going to be just Steve or both of us with a guest. We would love to have guests on the show, and I think that would add a lot of value to it.
I think it will.
Yeah.
Again, it's us talking, but it's for everybody out there.
Yeah.
It's not for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So true.
yeah,
Yeah.
so let us know what you need and we'll be more than happy.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
I think it's cool, right? Because we have two businesses that while people would look at it and say they don't really work together, but they do. Because it's interesting how, you know, you financials, you're looking at numbers. Me, I'm looking behind the scene, I'm looking at numbers for reviews. That really works together because it really works for numbers on both sides, right? And what a
Mhm.
great segue, to ask you to talk about, what you have for your side of this 50th episode. I'd love to hear your
Mhm.
part on what you came up with, to talk about these numbers. Because 50 episodes, that's not nothing to sneeze at. We've put a lot of thought into these. You and I have really, we share ideas before the episode to come up with something to talk about. But most of this is our ideas and our vision. We don't use a lot of stuff to say, hey, let's just make stuff up and talk about it. This is what we really want to talk. This is our view. This is what we really want to talk about, you know?
And and we've said this over and over and over before we dive into what I want to talk about, or what we want to talk about, um, which is two guys. We're not sponsored by anybody. We're not beholden to anybody. This is just two guys giving you our real life experiences, hoping that it helps somebody. So, okay. So having said that, um, let's talk a little bit about numbers and milestones. So we can start and go back to the 50. The 50 is significant. We talked about it before. We've gotten to 50, we've known each other and all that good stuff. And it really is
Yeah.
good stuff. But one of the things that we didn't yet mention was how many people, either individual or as teams, start something and give up too soon before they see success. And you've all heard the stories about the guy who's in a gold mine, stops, an inch short of the next gold vein that he could be rich, or whatever it is. do you stay with whatever you're doing long enough to see it through?
Yeah.
And again, it's a personal issue, whatever you're doing, but don't necessarily give up the first time you hit that first little setback.
Yeah.
Try
So
again,
true.
try again, try again.
Yeah.
My story that I said before, I was in corporate for 32 years, left, opened up my own business. It wasn't really working, but I stayed for 2 years and it was going south. I get it. But at the end of those 2 years, because I wanted to stay and make it work, I lost a ton of money. I went bankrupt. But instead of staying down, I came back, opened up my current business, and it's a success. So I gave up on the one, but instead of staying down, I got back up and I tried again. That's what I'm suggesting is don't necessarily get down on yourself. It's experience. Learn from what happened and try again. So another milestone that I just want to kick around is 18. And you're saying, what's 18? Well, in many states, 18 is the age that you can drive without supervision, without a parent in the car, without whatever. And I remember when way back when I was young, yeah, the day of the dinosaurs, I get it. Okay, but when I was young,
Cars were invented.
yeah, the chiseling on the cave walls, yeah, that was me. Okay. Um,
Right.
but when I was young, we always wanted to be 18 to go drive.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal. Then, as I got a little bit older and the laws changed, well, we wanted to become 21. 21 was the big thing because at 18, you could also drink. But then they changed the laws. Now you had to be 21 to drink. So, depending on what your age was, all of a sudden you had a drink today, you cannot have that drink tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was in that gap.
You're in
Um,
that little transition phase.
I was, and I was not happy. But, but, but you do what you got to do. And
Yeah.
the one thing that I learned when I graduated college, and at that point I was 23, you always want to be older. You always want to be older. So you're older to 18 to drive, you're older to 21 to drink, you're older at 23 to graduate college. Then you hit this thing called the real world. Now you got to go work. And that's when you sit there and say, is there a way for me to turn the clock back so I could do 15 again and really
Yeah.
enjoy it instead of pushing for 18 and 21? Of
Yeah.
course you
Right.
can't.
Yeah. The buzzword today, it's called adulting. That's what the
Oh,
buzz
is that
is.
what it is?
I don't want to adult anymore. Adulting is not fun. Yeah.
Um, no, adulting is not fun because
Adulting
then
is not
reality
fun.
hits.
Right.
Um, but there's nothing, at least that I know, there's nothing we can do to slow it down.
Yeah.
You can stay young up here, but physically, chronologically, you're going to keep aging. You have no choice.
Yeah.
And that gets you through different things. So that's really like the milestones around age of drinking, driving, getting out of college, going to work. Then we can then maybe go back to business, which Chuck alluded to before. You start a business and knowing that a very large percentage of businesses don't make it that far. It's just the numbers.
Yeah.
When you get to a year, celebrate it, publicize it, let the world know because it really is a big deal. Put something out, raffle something off, our 1000th customer gets this, whatever you want to do, put it
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
Get people to know that you've been in business, you've been busting your rear end, you deserve the accolades. You really do. And let the
Yeah.
world know.
Yeah.
Then you get to 5 years. Now, if a large portion of companies fail in 1 year, an even larger portion fails before 5 years. So by the time you hit that 5 years, you're maybe in the 2 to 5% of companies, if it's even that much, that survive.
Yeah.
So when you get to that 5 years, make that 1 year celebration look like nothing.
Yeah.
Put it
And you
out
know
there.
what? And this is, it's cool. I'm glad you mentioned that because this is a perfect time to put this in this episode while we're talking this. You hit on number five, and I want to put this out there for this podcast, even the live here on TikTok. What I want to do for this episode is give away five, not one, two, three, or four, but I'm gonna give away five sponsor host red ads in any upcoming podcast episode. Friday at 4, my Chasing the Stars series. I'll give away five
Nice.
free for any business, anybody that wants it. I'm gonna give away five host red ads. And Steve, you can use one
Nice.
if you want. I don't really care. If you want one, you send me information, we'll put it in there. I just
Nice.
want to put that in there. So anybody listens to this, reach out to me at chuck@qacteam.com or go to the website, qacteam.com, and click on your information to submit the host red ad to me. The link is right there in the menu.
Nice. Good
Yeah.
deal. And I
Yeah.
did not
Excellent.
know that. So
Yeah.
thank you
See, that's a
for
surprise.
you were getting me set up on this podcast. I mean, you did a great job, by the way. So okay.
You're welcome.
So you go 5 years, then you go 10 years and keep celebrating those milestones. It's a big deal to you, your team, if you have one, if you're not a solopreneur, to the customers, to the vendors. It's a big deal. So celebrate it, and you should take credit for it because it's not easy.
Yeah.
You could do different types of offers, promos, whatever you can think of. Again, within reason, you don't want to give away, the world just to, but, not giving away $10 million, but,
Get
you
the
know,
farm away.
give something that people will remember.
Yeah.
Publicize it. Go on a TV show, go on a radio show, go to a local cable company. News stations love that stuff and it's free.
Yeah.
So, yeah, do whatever it takes to promote yourself because you do deserve the attention. You really do.
Yeah.
Then we can talk, let's say, on the financial side. So, a lot of people, they're given or they hear that there are certain markers that you're supposed to hit. And if you don't, they make you feel like like you're worth nothing. But that's not the case. So one of the things that people always strive for is that six-figure salary. Well, if you don't make 100,000, but you make $99,999, are you going to be okay? I think so. You're missing by $1. I think you'll be
Yeah.
okay. Don't beat yourself up because if you're not making it in your current role, build the experience and then look to go somewhere else potentially to get that bump. So you are. And again,
Yeah. I like that.
there's
Yeah.
no hard and fast rule that says you must make 100, you must make 200, you must make 300.
Yeah.
What's right for you?
Yeah.
You may be in an industry where the average pay is 60 grand. You have
And
no choice.
right. And to add to that, I have never personally had a goal set for myself to say I want to make six figures or seven figures per year. Even when I was in a corporate world, I never put a monetary figure on a number that I wanted to make. I've never done that. Could that be a problem for me? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I should do that, right? But I'm different. I I just whatever comes at me, I go. I just push. You know.
Having a monetary goal for it, let's say for income, is a good idea, but it should not be all consuming.
Yeah.
It's good because it'll keep driving you to do that little bit better, get the
Yeah.
better job. But again, coming with the better job also comes more responsibilities, comes more hours. So there are trade-offs.
More
So
headaches.
if the mindset out there in the real world says, Chuck, you have to make 100 grand. Oh, but did I tell you you also have to work 80 hours a week? You have to travel. So there goes your family.
Nights and
So,
weekends.
right. So you really have to think about
Yeah.
other people want something for you,
Yeah.
but do you want it for you?
Right. That's a
And
question I'm
that's
going to ask here for anybody at TikTok Live. Do you guys expect, a expected salary number? Is that something, do you have a goal for that? Because I never have, I never have.
right.
I
I
never
never
worried
did.
about it. I just made it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
so I never had the specific target number that I was going for. I instead chose the title.
Yeah.
And the title, company to company to company to company to company, got me up the path. And with the title comes the dollars. But I
Yeah.
also realized too late that it was a mistake
Yeah.
because for over 20 years, I sacrificed the family. And it's time I can never get back.
Yeah.
So some people want it. I thought I did, but realized it was a mistake. So always do
Yeah.
what's right for you, not what somebody else wants you to do.
Yeah. Here's another little surprise for you that I haven't mentioned. So I did a
Okay.
podcast interview, my very first podcast interview with Rachel Johnson the other day, and I can't
Mm,
wait for it to get posted so I can share it. But we talked about that. We talked about my career, my life, and you
mm,
just struck something because that's part of what I talked about in this podcast episode was that I chose to leave that corporate world to do Uber and Lyft to have
mm.
more time with my kids
Got
because
it.
I had become divorced.
Mm.
And that gave me that flexibility to have that 50-50 shared custody that I had. I never missed a beat with my kids. And that's one of the best things. I'm so thankful for that I did that, you know?
From my perspective, smart move because I know I was the other way and I did not spend time with the kids that I should have. And
Yeah.
for me, that was a mistake.
I'm
Absolutely
so
was a
thankful,
mistake.
so thankful and grateful that I had the opportunity to do it. I mean,
Yeah, you're smart.
back in the day, Uber and Lyft were great. I'm so thankful and grateful for them for what they offered us as
Right.
drivers. And
Mhm.
it really, as I look back, I'm so thankful that I had them that time and that moment to really enjoy everything with them,
Yep.
the blessing. Yeah.
Nice, nice. And
Yeah.
that's why now having my own business as an entrepreneur, I can take off when I need to take off.
Do what you
From
want to do.
me to a doctor, to a dentist, whatever. For my kids, if they need something, I can take the time off. But it took me a lot of the other side, which was not pretty, to get to this point. So again, whatever's right for you works.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Another number that people really hear and they think that they have to, but they don't, is retire at 65. Now, there's a whole bunch of things that go into that. Number one
Yeah.
is if you do not plan correctly, you are at the mercy of your boss saying to you, hey, Chuck, you know what? I think it's time you retire. And you have no
Yeah.
choice, regardless of what age you are. It's forced upon you.
Yeah. That's a
Another
huge thing
side,
nowadays. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, no,
It
it
is.
is a big thing, especially with
Yeah.
the economy. Companies
Yeah.
want to reduce because, in theory, you could be paid too much. Your medical is too high. Your retirement plan is too high. Your matching social
Mhm.
security is too high. They're looking at dollars, not people.
People. Yep.
So when they say,
Great
Chuck,
point.
it's time to go, you're going. And what
Yeah,
happens
whether
if
you
you're
like it
not
or not,
ready?
right?
What happens if you're not
Yeah.
ready? Financially,
Yeah.
mentally, physically, it's you're going.
Yeah.
Now, because that's happening, and with the economy, people are being forced to either stay and work longer if they can,
Right.
which then takes away the golden years, or they're going to have to go get another job. So they
Right.
stay where they are or they go somewhere else. But when you
Yeah.
start doing that, you're saying a couple of things. One, I can't live the life I want to that I have earned and deserve.
Yeah.
Two is I can't spend time with my potential partner, my
Yeah.
kids, my grandkids because
Yeah.
I'm
And
chasing.
one quick plug to you. I know anybody that's listening, that's watching here on TikTok or watches this episode, I know for a fact if they reach out to you, either your phone number, your email address, your website, if this has happened to you and it's happening that you got kicked out early retirement, reach out to you. I'm sure there are things that you can do to put people in the right direction and right place to help them recover if they're
Correct.
losing anything financially. because you're the
Correct.
man.
Correct. Thank you. And when we are getting there, so thank you for the plug.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so that second scenario again is you go back to work, you don't want to, but maybe you have no choice financially. The third option is, well, it's a couple options. The third option is if you get pushed out of work before you're ready, at whatever age that means,
Yeah,
most retirement plans are created to last a limited amount of time,
yeah,
just the way it works.
right.
And if you're pushed out of work earlier and you need to start tapping into those funds sooner than expected, you will most likely run out of money sooner than expected. Now,
Sometimes
what do you do
quickly.
for the rest of your life?
Yeah,
If you have no kids, what do you do? If you have kids that don't want to take you in, what do you do? Where are you going to
yeah,
go? No money, no house, no nothing. You have no money.
nothing.
But if you plan right, starting as young as you can will help you put together a plan that's very inexpensive. And again, the earlier you start, the less you have
Oh,
to
you're
put
so the better.
away on a consistent basis.
Yeah,
But let's build something for you because nobody knows when that clock's going to strike 12 and they say to you, bye, Chuck. Thanks for working for us for 40 years.
yeah,
There's the door.
yep,
Plan for it early.
yeah,
And we can help put a plan together that even if you start collecting early, you will never, ever run out of money as long as you live. And that's where we want people to be.
yeah. Love it. Speaking of truth, man, I love it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's really a lot of what I was going to talk about. And I guess as a generic statement, whatever your goals are, whatever they are, because again, everybody's different. Whatever your goals are, don't think that you're going to hit your goal today, tomorrow, next week.
yeah.
There's a saying out there which I never used to like, but I'm going to use it now. And that is Rome was not built in a day.
You know, I use that a lot myself. I do. I really do.
Yeah. So whatever your goals are, and this is not an easy thing to do. So, you know, do some Google searches, call us, we can help you.
Yeah,
Take your goal and work backwards. And the simple example I use on a regular basis up until last week, if you wanted to save $120 in a year, do you save $10 per month? Which are the small steps? $10 per month times 12 months equals you $120. Or do you wait until December 31st and say, all right, I have 3 hours left before the clock strikes 12 and I got to come up
right.
with $120. How do I do this?
You know, it's such a great analogy. I love it. I do because
Yeah.
it makes so much sense. It doesn't matter how or when you do it, but the
Hmm.
important thing is doing it.
Do it.
You
Do
know,
it.
do it. You
Get
know,
started.
yeah, yeah,
Whatever your goals are, get started. So one of the things, and I'm sure everybody well, I shouldn't say everybody, a lot of people on the call heard my story already that last year I was in a car accident and my shoulder got hurt. And after all was said and done, I had to continue doing exercises 3 mornings a week in my apartment to make sure that the shoulder maintained as much mobility as I have. I'm not back 100%, but I'm getting there. And over the last what is now closing in on 4 months, 3 days a week. What's closing in on 4 months? I missed one day. And that's because I went to the doctor and he goes, let me give you a shot. And before I had a chance to say use my right arm, because it was my left shoulder. So before I had a chance to say use my right arm, he used my left arm. So I couldn't lift the weights to do my daily exercise. So that was the only day that I missed in almost 4 months.
wow,
Because again, my big goal is to keep the mobility in the shoulder. The
yeah,
smaller daily
yeah,
goals or 3 times a week goals are the 45 minutes it takes, I get my butt out of bed. I come
Yeah.
downstairs, I do a couple of things, then I go back upstairs and where the weights are. 45 minutes, easy stuff. They're not heavy, but it's the motion, getting the arm to move in different directions to keep the mobility. So for me, those are
Yeah.
my small steps to have my goal of keeping mobility because I don't want to be a one-arm person. I want to use both arms.
Yeah, and what a great analogy, right? Because this episode is all about our 50th podcast episode. And you have these milestones that you reach with your shoulder. I think that's awesome.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it
that
ties
that's
in,
my
right?
story.
Yeah. Yeah, look, 516-727-2294. Reach out to Steve. He gives you a free consultation. Take him
Yeah.
up on it. I mean, you can't go wrong. The guy's knowledgeable, you know?
Thanks. Yeah. Give Chuck a call, 410-935-6132. Um, if you have a business that you want him to come into, take a look at, give you some pointers on things that could improve, which will then help customer service, help your revenue. Contact him. He's been doing
And
this
it's
for a
fun.
while. He's got experience. Give
Yeah.
him a
And
call.
it's fun. It's
Yeah.
fun. I love what I do. I make it fun. And I think the biggest thing I want to say is don't be scared.
Right.
If I find something that's not perfect, it's okay.
Yeah.
Now we're not chasing the stars at that point. Let's chase to perfection now, and that's what we can do to fix it. That's all.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow, Steve, what a great 50th
Yeah. I
episode. I
think this
love
is
it. This is
great.
good. It's
Had a good
very
time as
informative.
always.
Yeah. And I think again, say it every week, it's like this is just as we keep going with this, I love it. It's become part of my life now. It's part of my routine. I look forward to this Friday. I'm on Mondays. I'm already looking forward to what Friday's going to bring, and this has become part of my structure, and I'm loving
Yeah.
it.
Me too.
Appreciate you.
Me too. Yeah, you as well.
Yeah.
It's the routine. It's we enjoy it. We're helping people. It's a win-win. So that's great.
And I think what people should know is that this is not easy for us to do because it's at a specific time. It's 4 o'clock on a Friday.
Right.
It's very difficult to make this happen. And
Well,
we've had
just
some hiccups
yeah.
doing this, and I think what's good about it is 50 times and 58 for you because you had two mishaps that you just couldn't be here. But 50 times that we've made this podcast
Mhm.
happen,
Yeah.
that's saying something because
Yeah.
we are busy people,
We are. We are.
and
Just yeah.
we
Yeah.
take our businesses, what we want to offer to our listeners, especially who are live on TikTok and who's watching this episode. We take it serious enough to want to help you guys that we're here showing up every
Mhm.
Friday at 4
Yep.
o'clock.
Yep.
You
The
know?
only thing that I would add to that, it's 4 o'clock Eastern time.
Thank you.
That's because he said 4 o'clock, and I'm like, well, it's not 4 o'clock in California. It's not 4 o'clock in London or wherever people are watching it. It's 4 o'clock Eastern time.
Now we get a segue. That's perfect, Steve. We'd segue to because
It's 4 o'clock somewhere. There
4
you
o'clock
go.
somewhere.
It just happens to be here. Okay.
Dude, that was perfect. What a segue. I don't think we ever hit that perfectly. That was
No,
perfect.
it was. It was
That
great.
was good. We're going to do that every episode now. When I say something about 4 o'clock, you go, well, Chuck, it's 4 o'clock Eastern time when we do this, but it's 4 o'clock somewhere.
I like it. See,
That's
improvisation
awesome.
is great.
Yeah. Steve, thanks again for joining me on another episode. It's
Got
been a great milestone, 50. I can't wait to see us get to 100. And hopefully when we get to 100, that I can share with you that I've hit that six-figure mark and say, hey, I never had a milestone for myself, but hey, Steve, I hit that six-figure mark now, So that's the goal. When you said that six-figure,
Mhm.
it kind of hit me. It's like I've never really had a monetary number tied to any business that I've ran or even in my personal life,
Wow.
with my corporate jobs. I never really said my goal was I want to get six figures by the end of next year. I've never had that goal. Maybe I should. Maybe that'll help drive me more to really get moving faster, right? I don't know.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Take it a day at a time. Don't stress out. If it
Yeah.
happens, it happens. Be yourself.
Yeah. Rome wasn't built in a day. And that's one thing I tell myself every day. It's like I'm adding bricks. I'm mixing up mortar. I'm slapping on a brick
Yep.
and I'm topping it on top of it. And The wall's getting built, one brick at a time. And I'm getting there.
That's it. That's all you can do.
Pouring concrete, baby. We're getting there.
You got it.
Steve.
All right. Be good,
Yeah,
Chuck.
enjoy the rest of the night. Everybody, thanks for watching on TikTok. Thanks for watching this episode. It's been a blast. Again, I love this. It's great 50th episode. And I'm looking forward to many more with you, Steve.
Me too. You got it.
Awesome.
Thanks, Chuck.
Take care, everybody.
You got it.
See you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
You've been watching the Friday at 4 podcast series with your host Charles Luttrell and co-host Steve Kent. Thanks for watching.